That you know the basics of PowerShell, it's time to write our very first script. Don't worry, it's easier than you think. By the end of the video, you'll have a script that can make your system more secure. So first things first, where should you write your script? Now, one place you could write your script is Notepad. You could simply start Notepad and write your script in that. However, it's missing a lot of features that makes it really comfortable. You can make your life much easier by downloading a tool like Visual Studio Code or Sublime Text or similar ones. So let's download Visual Studio Code. It's free. You can search for Visual Studio Code or code.visualstudio.com. Let's download it. Then download it for Windows. So it takes a second and we'll install this tool because it will make life much easier when we write codes or scripts in this case. So double click. Then we start the installation. We started a few times too many. Okay, we start the installation, so we can minimize this window. And this one as well. Accept, wherever you want to install it. Next, you want to maybe change the name, but it's up to you. We add a desktop icon just because it will make it easier to find. And we click install, so this will install some programming tool that will make it much easier to write your scripts. So you'll see it takes a second to install. And it makes life much easier because, for example, it uses different colors for specific words. It's a technique called syntax highlighting. So it makes it much easier to find typos or errors. It helps you avoid mistakes, and it has other cool features just to make it a lot smoother. So once it is installed, you can start the Visual Studio Code, either by clicking launch directly or double click if you added it to the desktop. So start the Visual Studio Code. And you'll see an interface like this pop up. And this is the interface of Visual Studio Code. Now let's create our first script. So we can go to File, New File. And we'll save it as firstscripts.ps1. So the extension is first scripts and we'll save it as .ps1. So that's short for PowerShell, not PlayStation, PS1. And so now let's make it actually output something. We can install this, but we won't need it right away. We can write host. You'll see it changes color. So it went to yellow. And we can say hello PowerShell. Now save the script. So it's now saved. And now we can try to run it, so it should simply output hello PowerShell. So let's see if we can do that. We open the Windows PowerShell. And I always like to run it as administrator so that I have full permissions of everything. In this case, it's saved in the same folder as the user. So we can move to the users folder. In this case, the username is Windows. And in here, we have the PowerShell script. So the first script is the PS1. So let's try to run it. So like this and press enter. And you see it outputs the hello PowerShell. So make sure that you're in the same folder as your script. You can verify that with the File Explorer that you're in the correct folder for your script. In this case, it's in the user's Windows folder. So we can verify that either in the command line, so by typing there, and then you'll see it, or you could check it with the user's Windows folder or wherever you saved it, and we'll see the script right there. So that folder has to match where the script is stored in order to run the script. Okay, so scripts can be very useful because you can run one or more commands automatically. I mean, now we have one command, but it can be several. It doesn't have to be one single command. There can be more than one, and it can be a bunch of commands that give you a lot of information about your system. So it could be various cybersecurity commands.